Have you ever looked at someone else's life and thought, why can't I be more like them? Maybe you've felt like you're always falling short, not smart enough, not talented enough, not successful enough. I think most of us have felt that way at some point. The hard part is that when you focus on what you don't have, it's easy to forget what you do have. You start seeing your flaws as proof that something is wrong with you. Little by little, you begin to believe you're not enough. But what if the very thing you're ashamed of is actually something valuable? What if the weakness you've been fighting for years is hiding a strength you haven't noticed yet? Today's story is simple, but the lesson behind it has the power to completely change the way you see yourself. Once upon a time, there was a hard-working farmer who walked a long distance every day to bring water home from a well. He carried two clay pots balanced across his shoulders. One pot was perfect, the other had a crack running down its side. Every day, the cracked pot lost part of its water before they reached home. The perfect pot noticed it, and it never missed a chance to remind the other pot. "Look at me," it seemed to say. "I do exactly what I'm supposed to do. You don't." Day after day, the comparison continued. And honestly, that's how life feels sometimes. There's always someone who seems smarter, richer, more confident, or more successful. If we're not careful, we start measuring our worth against other people. The cracked pot wasn't sad because it was broken. It became sad because it kept comparing itself to something it could never be. That's what comparison does. It takes your attention away from your own journey and puts it on someone else's. And the longer you stay there, the harder it becomes to see any value in yourself. At first, the cracked pot stayed quiet. It ignored the comments and kept doing its job. But after hearing the same message over and over again, something started to change. It began to believe it. That's what happens to many of us. A criticism repeated often enough can start to sound like the truth. Eventually, the voice that hurts us the most isn't someone else's. It's the one inside our own head. The cracked pot became convinced it was a burden. It saw itself as a problem the farmer had to tolerate. Every drop of water it lost felt like another reminder that it wasn't good enough. One day, it couldn't hold its feelings in anymore. With tears in its eyes, it apologized to the farmer. It told him how ashamed it felt, how sorry it was for wasting his effort every single day. That moment is powerful because many people know exactly what it feels like. Not to be broken, but to believe you're broken. Not to fail, but to believe your failures define who you are. And sometimes, that's the heaviest weight a person can carry. On our way home, I want you to pay attention to the side of the road. The cracked pot didn't understand why, but it did what the farmer asked. As they walked, it looked down and saw something it had never really noticed before. Beautiful flowers. Bright red, yellow, pink, and purple flowers lining the path. They were everywhere. For a moment, the cracked pot forgot about its flaw. It forgot about the water it was losing. It just looked at the flowers and smiled. And honestly, that's how life can be sometimes. We get so focused on what we're missing that we never stop to see what's growing because of us. We count our mistakes. We replay our failures. We focus on the things that didn't work out. Meanwhile, we're making a difference in ways we don't even realize. For the first time in a long time, the cracked pot felt something it hadn't felt before. Not shame, not guilt, just a little bit of happiness. When they finally reached home, the farmer smiled and revealed the truth. "I've always known about your crack." The pot was shocked. The farmer explained that months earlier, he had planted flower seeds along the side of the road where the cracked pot traveled every day. He knew the water would drip out. He knew those seeds would be watered, and that's exactly what happened. Those beautiful flowers existed because of the water the pot thought it was wasting. Think about that for a second. The very thing the pot hated about itself was the reason something beautiful existed in the world. I think a lot of people need to hear that. Not every weakness needs to be fixed. Not every scar needs to disappear. Sometimes the parts of ourselves we try hardest to hide are the same parts that make us unique, compassionate, resilient, or strong. The flowers didn't grow despite the crack. They grew because of it. And that's what finally changed everything. At that moment, the cracked pot finally understood. It was never useless. It was never a burden. It had value all along. It just couldn't see it. The farmer gently reminded the pot that nobody is perfect. Every person has flaws. Every person has struggles. Every person carries a few cracks. The difference is that some people learn to see those cracks in a different way. Maybe there's something about yourself you've been fighting for years. Something you wish you could change. Something you've always seen as a weakness. But what if that thing is also part of what makes you special? What if the thing you dislike most about yourself is helping you touch lives, grow stronger, or become the person you're meant to be? Before you judge yourself too harshly, remember the cracked pot. Sometimes what looks broken from one angle looks beautiful from another. If this story spoke to you today, don't forget to subscribe to Quiet Growth Lab, turn on notifications, and share this video with someone who might need this reminder. You may not see your value yet, but that doesn't mean it isn't there. Thank you for spending a few minutes with Quiet Growth Lab today. Take care of yourself, keep moving forward, and remember this: your imperfections do not make you less valuable. Sometimes they are the very reason your story matters. See you in the next video.